Mario is turning 35. Crazy, right? So let's take this time to look back on his epic 35-year history and the bright future ahead. Nintendo is throwing Mario a 35th birthday party, and you're invited. Nintendo's 35th Anniversary Direct announced a whole lot of Mario fun coming to a home near you soon. So let's dive into the incredible celebration of the single greatest gaming plumber/superhero of all time. The main thing they announced was something called Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This is a combined collection of the optimized versions of some of Mario's greatest hits: Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. This collection will be dropping on the Switch on September 18th, 2020. I'm going to rate my excitement for this 3 out of 5 Mario caps. The next thing they announced is the Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. This will delve all the way to the old days of Nintendo's console life. It will feature Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, and more. This piece of nostalgic hardware drops on November 13th, 2020. I bet you anything it's going to be cheaper than the PS5, so if you just gotta have a new gaming device on a budget, here you go. Though something tells me it probably won't have ray tracing. I will rate this 4 out of 5 Mario caps just because I love classic Nintendo consoles. What might be the most bonkers announcement is Super Mario Bros. 35. This Battle Royale game is a competitive platformer with 35 players battling until there is only one Mario standing. This limited time only game will be playable from October 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2021. So you better play fast! I'm gonna rank this 4.5 Mario caps because it sounds like the most insane thing ever and I'm here for it. Nintendo is also releasing something called Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, which uses augmented reality to bring you a whole new racing experience using your own environment. You will actually drive a real-life Mario Kart through your home with your Switch supplying the augmented track. This is one of the wildest things I've ever seen Nintendo try and is a good example of why the company is still so legendary. So I'm gonna give this 75 Mario caps out of 5 just because I want it right now. They also announced new celebrations and updates for Mario Kart Tour, Super Mario Maker 2, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Splatoon 2, and Animal Crossing New Horizons. So be ready for an onslaught of Mario-themed epicness across all of your Nintendo games. This whole thing does bring up a lot of questions as to why Nintendo and Mario have remained so legendary for so long. Not every studio can make re-releases of re-releases so exciting, but Nintendo pulls it off. So, where does this goodwill come from in a year where gamers have raged against pretty much every gaming studio from Naughty Dog to EA? Well, in order to answer that question, let's look back at where this Mario thing started in the first place. So, let's take a time machine way back to the ancient time of 1981. There are no home consoles. If you wanted to game, you needed a pocket full of quarters and a ride to the arcade. Old school heroes like Pac-Man, Q*bert, and Frogger were the big-time gaming characters. Still, there was one game that left them all behind. That's right, I'm talking about the game that made Nintendo: Donkey Kong. At that time, the Japanese company was struggling to break into the North American market. Their attempt to bring radar scope across the pond was largely unsuccessful. Then came young designer Shigeru Miyamoto's idea for a game about a little guy named Jumpman who was trying to save a woman named Pauline from a mean ape named Donkey Kong. What proved to be so successful about Jumpman was exactly what you'd think: the jump. It might seem small now, but there was something truly amazing about that jump back in the day. It still stands as proof of Miyamoto's ingenious method of perfecting one fun mechanic into an entire game. The challenging and addictive game design proved to be a massive hit for Nintendo that is still earning them quarters to this day. The success of Donkey Kong led to multiple sequels and spin-offs. Jumpman was renamed Mario after Mario Segal, the landlord for Nintendo of America. With quite a bit of success under his belt, Mario was ready to make the next big leap to home consoles. After toying with consoles like the Game & Watch and Color TV Game, Nintendo hit big with the NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System. The game that made the NES was, of course, the first Super Mario Bros. This game took everyone's favorite jumping plumber into a new world filled with colorful enemies and challenging platforming levels. The NES era was a prolific time for Mario. leading to 3 sequels to the original game, like each one including new innovations like Super Mario 3's famous Tanuki Mario, my personal favorite of the era. That success would lead to an even bigger leap forward with Nintendo's next console, the SNES or Super Nintendo. Super Mario World expanded pretty much everything that made the original so great. It had crisp graphics, challenging bosses, and a bangin' soundtrack. It is one of those games that, despite being over 28 years old, hasn't aged a day. While a game like that could have been the peak of Mario's career, former rivals like Pac-Man and Qbert had already, Mario was about to make his biggest jump yet, into the 3rd dimension. I don't think it's a controversial statement at all to say that the Nintendo 64 was one of the greatest consoles of all time. It really is hard to explain to someone who wasn't alive in the mid-90s how revolutionary and exciting this period of gaming history was. I mean, Square Enix released a remake of the first act of Final Fantasy VII, and we all lost our minds over how good that nostalgia trip was. Well, Super Mario 64 was definitely one of the big games leading that charge. Mario's first trip into 3D was a truly addictive open-world experience that raised the bar for what gamers expected out of a home console experience. Once again, it was Mario's jump that blew gamers' minds. This time it had all sorts of variations that could throw you all around the 3-dimensional world. Of course, of Mario's leaps into the future, this one may have been the biggest one. Mario has been steadily churning out quality main series games and spin-offs ever since. Each game, like Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy, has changed up the Mario formula, providing us with entirely new ways for our favorite plumber to travel through the world. Not only that, but franchises like Mario Kart and Mario Party have been consistent multiplayer experiences that have changed game nights forever. Today, you can do all sorts of things with Mario. He can play tennis, golf, soccer, and so much more. Even still, that feels like just the beginning. It's kind of crazy to think, but the current state of video games makes the arcade wars of the 80s seem like nothing. Gaming has evolved with and around Mario to the extent that it's now the biggest gaming industry in the world. Our old Jumpman doesn't just have Pac-Man to go up against now, but movie-quality stories, addictive shooters, massive open worlds, and those phone games where the aunts of the world match up shapes for hours on end. So how does our favorite plumber fare in a world that's stacked up with AAA titles practically every month? By doing the same thing he's always done: fun gameplay in brave new worlds. Super Mario Odyssey is the latest main series Mario game, and it proves that he's still gaming's best hero. It decided to embrace Mario's wild history while also plopping him in one of the coolest settings ever, New Donk City. This wild, unpredictable game let you do all sorts of things, from exploring a vast metropolis to taking over a T-Rex with your cap. Not only that, but it had one of the all-time greatest Mario soundtracks. Admit it, you've never really gotten Jump Up Superstar out of your head. Why would you want to? Who knew Pauline had pipes? If we're talking about modern Mario, though, there's a whole different series that I've got to talk about. Yes, fighting game fans, it's finally time for us to talk about Super Smash Bros. The silly little fighting game from the N64 era has evolved into a full-blown gaming sensation. Today's Super Smash Bros. Is a hallmark game for every person who wants to have fun pulverizing their friends with a disrespectful smack into oblivion. It has taken the fighting community by storm, standing side by side with franchises like Street Fighter, Tekken, or Soul Calibur. The latest game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, did its very best to live up to that moniker. The game not only improved upon its famous mechanics, but it also provided one of the greatest rosters of all time. Sorry, Avengers Endgame, but Ultimate has the most ambitious crossover of the decade. Still, many fans will tell you that the Gamecube era Super Smash Bros. Melee was the best of the franchise, to the point that a great deal of players will only play with a Gamecube controller. Gamecube may have gotten thrashed by the competition, but no one is still playing the PS3, just saying. As epic as Mario's life is right now, it's still fun to look ahead and speculate about his future. Recently, Nintendo has been playing around with a lot of augmented reality games. Everyone freaked out when Pokemon Go turned the world into your favorite Game Boy game. From the looks of the new Mario Kart Live home circuit, they're just getting started with these types of games. Could there be a day where I'm playing a Super Mario platformer where the level is my own home? Probably. It's clear that the next big leap in gaming is going to be VR. While Nintendo has played around with a few VR Mario experiences, there hasn't been a true standout Nintendo game utilizing the technology. To be fair, That could be said of most gaming companies before Half-Life Alyx came out earlier this year. A true VR gaming industry still seems a bit like a mirage, but so did 3D once upon a time. It seems inevitable that one of the next big leaps Mario will take will be in a truly legendary VR title. Imagine a world where you don't just control Mario's jumps, but you actually do the jump yourself. There will almost definitely be a day where, like in Half-Life Alyx, you can look at your own hands and see Mario's iconic gloves instead. A VR game with Super Mario Odyssey level mechanics might push the gaming industry forward in the same way Super Mario 64 did all the way back in '96. Still, there's something special about going down to the local arcade with a handful of quarters so that you can finally put the hurt on that big stupid ape. Happy birthday, Mario! It truly has been a wild ride. What has been your favorite Mario experience so far, and what do you think will happen in the next 35 years? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to The Gamer.